It's scandalous that there are about nearly 1 million young people and children who live in our 21st century British society that are looking after their mums, dads, siblings who in some way aren't able to look after themselves. And when I say looking after, I mean everything from personal hygiene to medication to the shopping to the finances to all the things that perhaps most of us take for granted that our families and our mums and dads have done for us in the past. These young people are doing for themselves. And I say young people, but I've met young carers who are now 16 that have been caring since the age of 4. So it seems really important to me that society does something about it. And as a theatre maker, I want to do something about it. And I feel the best thing I can do is make theatre that illuminates and profiles this issue in our society and helps in some way to find that 1 million children and young people and get them some sort of support.
So this week has been really good. It always takes me, even though you've even got a script and you've got your own ideas about the piece, always, especially when you're working with a collaborative team, it takes a couple of days just to kind of find your feet. So in the first few days I do a lot of listening, watching, and just getting on board with how other people work. I think it's really important in it, rather than just steaming in there and kind of going, this is what I want to do. So, of course you do a bit of that as well, but it's been quite interesting to see how much your own ideas change because of the kind of ideas of other people.
Yeah,
and I think that's a good thing.
All the development for me has been meeting and getting to know the young carers forum better. So we've met with them, I think, 3 or 4 times, and different kinds of ways of interacting with them. And then I've gone away and I've written and obviously talked to Stuart and we had a little R&D phase in January, I think it was. But obviously this is a different kind of intensive way of working.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really, really nice for me because it's the one time when I get to work collaboratively.
And of course, for me, it's always really important just to hold on to one thing, that at the heart of all of this is a performer, which is ultimately what people come to see, is an actor playing a character, telling a story.
Yeah.
And even more so with this, because it's one actor telling one character's story, but having to be all the other characters as well.
There's a lot there. There's a lot to find. Wendy, Sophie, Dom, Dad, the social workers, the police, the jazz. It's exciting. I'm terrifying.
10, persuade Mum to eat cereal. 9, get Sophie's meds. 8, flask of tea for Mum. She can't make herself some place sometimes she can.
I feel like I'm in kind of a dream state because it's day 5. And it is super intense physically, mentally, creatively. The days are just whirring past, but we're getting so much done.
So that's a long answer to your question, but I think I'm a bit clearer about all the stuff that's going on that we're making, and it won't be until I see them all put together that I'll go, yep, that all works as one, or we need some of that needs to go to make it feel like it does. And you just have to be brave, and you have to stay patient. I know that April at times has gone, oh God, there's so much to do, and in my head I know that actually, no, we've got enough time to achieve what we want to achieve.
What are you expecting today in terms of what you're planning to see or hoping to see? Is there anything particular that you want the audience to take away from it? Big question.
I just need to I think that we kind of want different audience that come and watch it to actually understand what a young carer and a young adult carer is. Because a lot of people out there don't know what one is, kind of thing.
I think that's
Do you
really
agree,
important
guys?
because the people who've seen it.
Oh, a little bit.
Well, you lot have seen it, but you know what young carer is. So it's what does someone who doesn't take away from it, isn't it?
And it also reflects on our lives and how we watch somebody else perform our lives, kind of thing. Right, somebody else can do some talking now.
10, out the gates. 9, off next door's car roof and onto the fence. 8, through the
So I've seen the first read through and then this one.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of relentless in a really good way, in that you get drawn into a young adult carer's world and you feel that constant pressure that I know they all feel, and that feeling that there is no escape. And I think the drama piece makes you feel that while you're watching it, which is really effective. And just that point that so many young adult carers hit, where you just don't actually know what to do next. That kind of despair, which is hard to watch, but it's really important to understand, I think.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely very powerful, and it's nice to see that our voices have been heard in the development of it.
It's the stories that I hear all the time working with young adult carers, so it's giving a mouthpiece to the things that they probably want to say, and they don't either have the confidence or the opportunity to make sure people hear that bit of their story.
I'm so grateful actually that something like this has happened. We need to raise awareness, particularly in schools, because that's where children and young people go every day. It's our biggest hit at identifying these very unique young people. Hats off, it was absolutely brilliant, and I can't wait to see the very finished piece.
But the writing was really, really good. All of it was really amazing, it's really powerful, and I think it's really, really important that as many people as possible see it. Don't restrict it to certain age groups. As the piece said, you can be caring from as young as 5, so as many people as possible need to see it.
I'm very, very moved by this piece of work. As probably the oldest person in the audience, I'm going to take you all back, because I think it's as important as Cathy Come Home. And I think if it were broadcast, possibly made into something for the BBC, it would be absolutely fantastic. Its impact would be enormous. And thank you for a moving performance.
Issues that were actually kind of packed in there into that script. The writing was amazing, the actress was phenomenal. I was really impressed. I think that it builds really well and giving insight into all aspects of young carer and young adult carers' lives. So I think it's going to have really, really powerful impact on schools, on other children and young people, but also on teachers, possibly social workers, school nurses, all the people, services that are there to support young carers.
So how on earth are we going to make sure that everybody who needs to sees this, and how on earth are we going to make sure that there are the services there to support young people once they've watched it and they've identified themselves? And that's kind of that's an ongoing part of the work that we do, that we need to make sure we carry on.
So beyond this development process that we've been going through, working with this amazing team of artists, inspired by the young carers, inspired by the script that Anna's written, inspired by the extraordinary performer by April Hughes that's going to be in this one-person show, we want to tour it. We want to tour it to schools and to theatres. Partly because we think it's going to be a great piece of theatre, and it's important that really strong theatre is made for young audiences that may have issues in it, but that it's entertaining, challenging, exciting, everything you want a good piece of theatre to be. But also because we want it to go to schools where we're going to capture those young people, and where there might well be in that audience some young carers that are watching it and suddenly recognise their lives. And we're going to create a kind of a safety net, a signposting opportunity where they can go and talk to their teachers, talk to the Norfolk Young Carers Forum or their local carers forum. We're hoping it's going to tour initially in East Anglia, but hopefully in 2017 nationally. But certainly our aspirations are that in 2016 we'll visit Cambridgeshire, Essex, Suffolk, and obviously very importantly Norfolk, from where the piece has emanated.